Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today I've got an exciting video of basically how to get him or her to be crazy about you. And this is also really great. You can change the way what anybody thinks about you. So yeah, a really exciting video. Just before I dive into it, guys, we are having a contest. We're giving away some free coaching sessions when we get to 100,000 subscribers, which is happening, and it's happening now. Link or all the description of the contest is in the description below. So yes, let's get started. So guys, I know most of you guys know my journey of how I went through with my relationship. And, and I know we talk a lot about self-concept and that sort of thing, but really when it comes down to, having someone change their mind about something, it really comes down to everyone is you pushed out and watching what your thoughts are as well about yourself, as well as your assumptions of the other person. So as we all know, everyone is you pushed out. So how that works is every thought that you have is just going out. Okay, it's going out to the world. Okay, so general thoughts will go out to generally everybody. If you've got a specific thought about a person, that thought will go into their head and then they think it's their idea. Okay, so basically what happens is if I have a thought and I think, oh, Jerry, wants to tell me I'm amazing. And then that thought will go into Jerry's head and Jerry will be like, Amanda, you're amazing. He'll think it's his idea and say it back to me. So your thoughts are constantly being overheard by everybody in your reality. So how do you change what people think about you, or how do you get him or her to be crazy about you? Is you start, spending some time going, this is what so-and-so thinks about me. Okay. And I did this in my relationship with Andrew, because as you guys know, he didn't even want to move in with me at first. And now all of a sudden we're engaged to be married and planning a wedding. So, and how I did it was not only by saying I was good enough and I'm perfect, right? And your self-concept, you going through things that may block you, like, okay, well, he's not going to want me unless I lose 5 pounds. No, he wants me exactly the way I am. But taking it a step further and saying, okay, no, this is exactly what Andrew thinks about me. He thinks I'm the best person in the world. He wants to be with me and only me. He tells me that constantly, right? And just spend some time of what do you want that person to think of you. Okay, now if you're recreating somebody that you've got a history with, you're really going to want to go in and write out all your complaints about them, like dump it out. Okay, dump it out. It's okay to recognize your negative thoughts, your negative story. It's okay, as long as you take it a step further and you say, okay, hold on a second here. He's too busy. Nope, cross that out. He always has time for me. He always is liking other girls' posts. Nope, cross that out. He likes mine and only mine, right? So really take some time to, just even do intentions, affirmations. It doesn't even need to be an inner conversations, intentions, same thing. You don't need to hear the person's voice. You just got to be thinking of them and going, okay, well, this is what I want Andrew to think of me. This is what I want Joe to think of me. This is what I want everyone to think about me. Okay. And really take some time to create what those thoughts that you want them to have about you are, right? So basically, when you want to use your 3D as your feedback, okay? So that's going to help you to be able to determine what you may need to change a little bit more. Okay, so a really good example of this is when I wanted to move in with Andrew, I asked him and he said no. I started crying, and because I'm having the relationship talk with him, and then he was like, well, do you want me to leave? And I thought to myself, at the moment, I was kind of like, yeah. But then I was like, wait a minute, this is throwing the baby out with the bathwater, because, just because he wasn't ready to move in with me yet, which I know that it was something that I created. Okay. But I was like, like, that's it, you're moving in with me or this relationship is over. Well, is that really coming from the end of a loving relationship? Absolutely not. So just in that moment, I said to him, I'm like, no, it's okay. You know what? I'm totally okay with this. If you're not ready to move in with me, I totally get it. I like being around you. I love our relationship. And it's okay. We don't have to move in together. And the funny thing was, for the next 5 days, I really worked on my story, because I had a story that, anybody that's been previously married has baggage and doesn't want to do it again. And of course, that's what Andrew had reflected back to me. So, I got on it and I said, no, he's over his baggage. He wants to live with me. He's over his baggage. He wants to live with me. And then 5 days later, he turned around and was like, you know what? You're not crazy. I do want to live with you. And it was like, yeah, so our reactions to what shows up, we've got to watch as well, because they're only reflecting back what we've created. Now, if we, I mean, I did lose it in a moment, and I almost did dump him and say, forget it, you know what, this is it, but at the same time, right, he was only reflecting back what I created. So once I got control of my emotions in that moment, I said, okay, you know what, no, I'm like, I know I just need to change my story. And he gave me the feedback, which was gold, told me that he had baggage, right? Which wasn't a surprise to me, because I was like, oh, I created that like years ago, and I created that just as a general assumption. And then it reflected through him, right? So you want to use your 3D as feedback, okay? Because everyone's going to reflect back your assumptions about yourself, your assumptions about them. Now, the reason why it's really important to actually focus on what other people think, whether it be generally or specifically to one person, is because, it's not just all self-concept about how I feel about myself. I can say that I'm the most amazing person in the world, but Jerry over there, well, he's just rude and mean and very, negative to me. And he's got a bad, like assumption about me. Okay. Now, regardless of me telling myself that I love myself, I'm amazing, he's still going to hold that, because these are two interdependent things. Yes, your self-concept does matter, especially if your block is with your self-concept. Like, I need to lose 5 pounds, or I'm not good enough yet, or da, 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 da. Okay. Then you need to work on self-concept as well. But if you're like, no, I'm perfect, and I don't understand why this person doesn't want to be with me, then you've created them with some sort of an assumption, whether it's what they think about you or what they think about relationships in general. So do you know what I mean? Now, the one important thing to remember with everyone is you pushed out, not to take what they say back to you personally. Okay. So for instance, if I say, well, Jerry's always late, and then that's my assumption of him, and he shows up late all the time to dates. Okay. So not taking it personally would just be looking at my feedback and going, yeah, you know what? Okay, whatever. It's all good. Okay. And then intending he's always on time. Now, taking it personally is he's showing up late, and then me going, well, what's wrong with me? Why are you doing this to me? Why don't you respect me? Now, all of a sudden, I'm taking my assumption that was empty and meaningless, and I'm giving it a meaning that somehow I'm not good enough. Okay. So that's the thing with everyone as you pushed out. It's not about you taking taking things personally that show up in your reality. It's a matter of just going, okay, yeah, I've had that assumption, that story about Jerry forever, so maybe I should change it now. And when we don't take things personally, we can be in control of our emotions. When we take things personally, we're only adding another story to it. Now, remember, everyone is you pushed out. Okay. So if Jerry is like constantly late, and I, get upset, why are you doing that? And I think to myself, oh, he disrespects me. Now, all of a sudden he's got okay, so he's late. And now he's thinking, oh, I'm going to disrespect her, right? Because I've just created that by creating that secondary story. But none of it means anything. It only has the meaning we choose to give it. I personally choose not to give anything a meaning, because that helps me to remember nothing means anything, right? But if you do give it a meaning, give it a good meaning. Always give it the assumption that things are going to get you closer to where you are. Okay. So when you want to change what people think about you, if you want to make them crazy about you, chase you, say all the things that you want to hear, is sit down and spend some time creating what you want that person to think. And you can have a conversation with them in your mind if you want, and hear them say it to you. And it's of course going to be your own voice. Or, you can simply do what I did, is I just wrote out Andrew thinks, and then I just did bullet points. This is what Andrew thinks about me. And then do, right? And, and make sure that when you're going throughout your day, you catch yourself, listen to yourself. Okay. If you are straying off of, what you want. Okay. So for instance, anxious about what people think about you right away. No, my thoughts create, everyone's me pushed out. I'm going to tell you what they're going to think about me. They're going to think I'm amazing. They're best thing ever. Da, 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 da. Okay. So, catch yourself when you find yourself questioning what they're thinking. Why aren't they calling you? Or da 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 da. No, you know what they're thinking because you create it. So let's start consciously creating what they're actually thinking, rather than guessing and questioning what they're thinking. Yes, I intend that this video helps everybody. And guys, remember, each and every one of you guys are perfect. And and you've got everything you need. You've got thoughts, and you can make things happen in your reality. Anyways, guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.